What is going on, y'all? This is the Caveman. I'm here with Football with Oz Austin for episode 52 of Against the Blitz, and we're getting into our 2025 full-on division previews. We're going to go through division by division and not give you a straight-on record prediction because that would have forced us to kind of map out the entire schedule, and we didn't want to do that yet, honestly. So all we're doing right now is kind of projecting whether or not the teams are going to go over or under their win totals and why. And then kind of tell you the order we think the division will end up looking. But before we get into it, of course, be sure you join the Discord, link down in the description. We have tons of fun conversation. Right now, it's obviously getting to be the deep part of fantasy draft season. So if you're interested in talking about fantasy or you have any questions, thoughts, comments, that's the place you want to be. But right now, we're talking about the AFC East. Austin, what kind of method did you use to kind of put the teams in order?
So my method was basically I looked at what their record was last year, and I looked at how dramatically I think they got better or worse. Do I see I don't know, do I see an identity to the team? Do I see like a real path for them to get together and win extra games? And if I didn't see that, then I didn't project them extra games. It was kind of just off of pure feel, honestly. Like there wasn't like a true metric that I used, but I feel good about it.
Yeah, I kind of did the same. I did the same thing, and I came out feeling differently about how I would have projected this division, I think, a month ago. So I had a good time kind of really sitting down and thinking about it because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about some of the teams in this division. It's going to be a bad division, but nonetheless, it's still going to be worth kind of indulging in. So we'll go from bottom to top, just I guess because it's probably more interesting that way. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But we'll go bottom to top anyway.
Yeah.
My bottom feeder for the AFC East is going to be the Patriots. They have a win total, as I found, was either 7.5, 8.5, I guess, depending on the book. But most places have them projected at 8 wins is kind of that sweet spot.
I got 8.5 was the over-under I kept stumbling into.
Yeah. And which to me was high. I was kind of shocked when I saw 8.5. I think that's like their ceiling to me. That's if everything does click. That's if Drake May does continue to progress the way he's been moving. And if Vrabel and the entire, new staff comes in and really meshes together well. Although I think there are a lot more cons, and that's kind of what I ended up focusing on with the Patriots more than anything, because while they did make a bunch of flashy additions, I wrote down my biggest concerns on both sides of the ball. And on offense, it's still no doubt pass protection. This is an offensive line that they invested big time. They drafted Will Campbell they got Jared Wilson out of Georgia as well. And he's passing Cole Strange on the depth chart now. So he's listed as the starting left guard. They signed Garrett Bradbury. Like, they went out and actually made moves, but I still don't feel great about it. And this is an offensive line last year that struggled. Drake May was constantly getting hit, constantly running for his life. And I don't see that changing, especially when the pass catchers outside of Diggs are pretty suspect. I mean, this is going to be, I think, another year of May really holding onto the ball and potentially getting whacked a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Drake May is one of those figures in the sport where there's so much upside that it almost feels wrong to say that there is a capped upside for this year, but there is. Like can we watch him play and say that he's to the level of a Herbert yet, to the level of a Jaden Daniels? No. And these people are barely dragging their teams to the playoffs with better supporting casts, in my opinion. So I think while it's super exciting, like while they have a team full of a bunch of young, exciting prospects, we've talked about it a lot in the Discord. Like, they would need everything to go right. Like, they would need every developmental player to all develop at like the exact same time. And I think that's just a really big ask, especially when this team specifically doesn't have an identity yet. We talked about this last episode with the Jets, where we said they were kind of collecting like pretty decent players across the board, but they still don't really have an identity. Like, you can't really count on the pass. You can't really count on the run to be there fully. It's just a team of decent players all around. but that's not really the recipe to win games.
No, it's not. And that's kind of what I'm wondering. Like we've seen Josh McDaniels, of course, in New England before, but it does make me wonder what they really want to do with this offense because last year running the ball was just impossible for them. I think they finished like 30th in terms of efficiency on the ground. And other than the addition of Henderson and the offensive line upgrades, I guess it's kind of hard to go down from where they were last year.
Yeah.
But I don't think the run game is going to be much better. And as I was saying with my concerns through the air, like I think there are more things to like on the other side of the ball than offensively, which is where I did a lot of my thinking and where I think a lot of the positive projections get the investment from. Like Mike Vrabel's coming in. We all know he's always got a gritty team, a gritty defense that will keep you down and dirty and play in the low scoring games. And they went out and stole Milton Williams from the Panthers. That was huge. They brought in Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, drafted Braden Swinson. Who was the defensive tackle? Josh.
They got Milton
Farmer
Williams,
too.
Joshua Farmer. Yeah.
Like crazy additions up front. But I don't know if they're going to be able to stop the run. Like a lot of their additions were pass rushers to me. So it's like, where are we stopping the run here? If Farmer's healthy,
Spillane.
And Spillane. I guess.
Like, I do believe Christian Barmore did miss some considerable time to health issues. So I do think he's coming back. I don't know how much he helps their run defense, but he is a pretty good player. Milton Williams, to me, he was always a rotational piece in Philly because he couldn't stop the run. So now that, he has to be a full-time, gap control player, I do worry about that. Like Harold Landry, like we've said before, he's never been a huge run defender. Whoever they put out there, like an Anthony Jennings type of player, I'm not sold on them getting a lot of pressure. And that's the most important part of a defense, in my opinion. So while their secondary is good, they're not going to be getting home a ton. So it's just going to make their job a lot harder. So I'm still not super sold on the defense, though they do have good personnel at every level from D tackle, edge, linebacker, corner, safety. I just don't know how they work together.
Yeah, I think this is their pass rush will be, if it's good, that's going to be how this team is good, basically. If they get the best out of Landry, if Milton Williams really comes in and is able to be more than, your occasional third down guy to get after the quarterback, and he's really disrupting stuff consistently. Like if all of those big additions hit their ceiling, that's how I think this team can hit that 8.5, that over 8.5 mark. But yeah, it just is a little bit concerning to me. Robert Spillane comes from Vegas, of course, and they finished, I think, 15th in terms of run defense, EPA against the run. And to me, I don't think there's much of a difference between the front seven over in Vegas and over in New England now. They feel kind of the same. And that was with Max Crosby, and that was with Crosby and Spillane, and they still finished 15th. Now Spillane is over in New England without Max Crosby. So I know he is a superior run defender, but now he's really, I think, going to have to do a lot, which I just don't know if he's going to be able to beat the entire run defense. Hopefully Barmore is that.
I think Barmore is better than I'm kind of remembering as a run defender. We didn't see a lot last year because of the health concerns, but yeah, I don't know. I have faith in their linebacker room. I'm not completely moved by it. And this isn't a thing where I really need to be moved by. It's their expectations are so high, but I'm not seeing a ton of upside there. Aside from Milton Williams in their front seven, at least.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think this is, this isn't I don't think at least going to be a Vance Joseph type thing where he takes Christian Gonzalez or takes, Pat Surtain, or in this case, Christian Gonzalez, and he kind of starts from there and they kind of transform that way. I think that's kind of how people view Gonzalez, is he's going to be on that Surtain level. And then that's kind of where the Patriots build out from, but not this year, at least. So just so much more concern, which is, like I said at the start of this whole rant, it's where does this 8.5 total come from? I'm not seeing the vision at all. So I'm way under on that.
I mean, especially when they were picking fourth
Yeah.
I believe, yeah. Like you're jumping from fourth to like picking like if you get 8-9 wins, you're picking like 16th, 17th. Like I'm not a huge Will Campbell left tackle person. I've kind of been vocal about that. He'll be great when they move him to guard. But even then, like if Morgan Moses is like the thing that you're excited about as your offseason addition, you're like, yes, we have our stable right tackle. We have our Morgan Moses. You're not on a playoff bubble if your big move on the offense is Morgan Moses.
Yeah.
Like if him and Will Campbell, who Will Campbell has potential, but even then, like he was getting beat pretty badly in pass pro last year. Like Kyle Kennard got the best of him like 3 times in the same game. Like it definitely is. He has a lot of work to do, and now he is the starting left tackle on a team that it appears like they're ready to start the playoff push now. And I can't quite get there with them, especially when they don't really have any elite weapons to get the ball to. Just
Yep.
a bunch of solid dudes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like you can go the route of the Bengals or you could go the route of the Bills. It's like you're either one or the other. You got no offensive line, but you got the weapons, or you have the offensive line and you don't have the weapons. And the Patriots don't have either. And the other thing that
didn't do either.
no, they
Yeah.
don't have either one. That kind of goes back to the identity thing, which we're lacking to understand. And on top of that, something we talked about in the Jets episode and something we've talked about, I feel like often lately, is the cohesion up front. Like when you bring in as many new faces as the Patriots did, it doesn't matter who they are or how great they are. It doesn't mean it's all going to click right away. So this is a 17-game season. And if it takes your offensive line 8 weeks to finally start communicating well and playing good together, then that could be it for your year. And 4 out of the 5 guys as of right now were not Patriots last year.
No.
So
the best one was the guy that was a Patriot. Like the guys coming in are still really raw.
Mhm.
Like Jared Wilson, the guy that you've talked about could potentially take over, undersized, and the entire thing about him was like he's a center, but he's not center smart yet. Like the whole thing was he's athletic, he can move well, but he's small and he's not like crazy smart. It's kind of the same thing with Garrett Bradbury. Like he's a good mover, athletic, but he makes bad decisions constantly, can't pick up stunts, kind of not center smart either. And Vikings fans completely cheered when he left. Like if you're just getting a collection of players that people cheered when they left, even though they're slight upgrades over what you had last year, like you're not pushing for playoffs here, especially when you don't have your Jamar or you don't have, your Deion Dawkins. Like you're just stuck in the mud for both.
Mm-hmm.
And your defense isn't quite elite enough to carry you there.
Right. And I mean, unless it somehow is that's the only way I think this team can even scratch those numbers. So to me, this is probably closer to a 4 to 6 win team in that range than a 7 to 8. So
4 is that's tough. I do think they're better. But like it's 8.5 is the line that we're talking.
Yeah,
like
right.
I'm still taking that under.
Yeah.
Like I could definitely see like 5-6. I think I'll even be nice and give them 7 or even give them 8. But like if we're talking about a team that's above 500 here, I'm not seeing that avenue unless their schedule is just so much easier than I'm remembering right now, which I don't think it is. Like they got some tough dudes on that schedule. Like I don't think they're taking all of them.
Right. And I mean, they could have a 17-game season of games I perceive as toss-ups, and I still think it could go south.
Right.
Like they're just not a team I can confidently go into and say, they're going to win this one. I don't think there's going to be a game on their schedule where I feel that way. So,
no.
And 4, I would say 4 is definitely their floor. Like 4 would be their
I can never see them. I can't see them going below that at all.
No. May is good enough to be that higher than that, but bottom line is they're not 8.5.
But here's the thing that I keep trying to get into everybody's head is like the identity thing. I do really believe that it is true. And when you're playing a certain team, you have an understanding of what they're going to do to you. When you play Buffalo, Josh Allen's going to run it down your face. James Cook's going to be super efficient on the ground. Like, they're going to want to just try and get Josh Allen rolling to his right and make some plays. When you play the Bengals, they're going to run a bunch of 5 wide, get Jamar and T into good looks and deliver them the ball. With the Patriots, it's like, what are they trying to do? What's their goal? And is that to give Stephon Diggs good looks? Is that to try and get Ramondre Stevenson into space? Like, I just don't see an offense here. Like, I just don't see an above average offense at all.
No. And when your third best pass protector is your rookie running back, you're probably you're probably not in the best of situations. But I do think they're on the up. Like, we can give a little bit more love here. They are definitely trending in the right direction. So New England fans, I think they have a lot to look forward to.
I heard they were hitting 11 wins. Easy.
Yeah, I know. I heard that too. I wonder who that was from.
That might be in our Discord. 11 wins easy.
He said no verbatim.
Yes. There's like a single, like, I would say Christian Gonzalez is the only true all-pro level player on this team.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hitting 11 wins, you got like 6 all-pros on your team.
Yeah, I mean,
like across the board, like offense, defense, D-line, secondary, receivers, like.
And Gonzalez is a guy that hasn't he struggled to stay on the field, or was that just like a one?
Yeah, he's been banged up for sure. He was banged up. That's why he fell in the draft, because he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's been hurt a little bit in the NFL too.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes,
he might just be one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're just really talented, can't stay fully healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just hurt his hamstring like this week.
Did he really? Oh, I did hear that actually. I did hear that.
It wasn't terrible, but like you don't get healthy playing football. Mm-mm. Like he's not just going to keep getting healthier.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is the time of year where like
it's only downhill from here.
Yeah, literally. There's no more, time off for these guys. This is it.
Right.
So, yeah, New England under for sure.
Yeah, sorry Patriots fans. That was rough, but like
it's a reality check.
Expectations are just so high.
Like, I just want to know who created this. Like,
I don't know. I feel like it's so healthy. Like, I think a lot of people look at the Bengals and the Commanders as kind of like the point for this, where like they struggled and then they got their quarterback and they got a few weapons around them and they blew up. They went dynamite. They went 11 wins. They blew up. But I don't think that they have the same level of players that those two teams had. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a little bit more realistic to say, yeah, we improved. And we improved maybe 3 to 4 wins more, which is still not 9 wins.
No.
So I don't see like a 4 or 5 game, 6 game improvement out of them just yet.
Nope.
Like they're not beating Buffalo. I don't know how many games they're taking in the entire AFC East at all, but not that many. I
agree. Well, with that said, should we have you go and talk about your bottom feeder, or was this your bottom feeder? I feel like now this is like, where do we go? Do we go to like the
Patriots were not, but I think that we can go in any order, and I'll just kind of give my opinion on them.
Okay.
Because I've kind of already said, I think the Patriots are a 7 to 8 win team. And the only team that I definitely can say that about might be below is the Jets. Because they're also a team with so many different unknowns about them. And it's hard to be down on them because our previous episode was about the New York Jets, and they were a team that checked every good box about a successful offseason.
Yep, they did. And I came out of that episode very optimistic about New York, like far more optimistic than I expected to. And that's kind of going into the whole, like, I was kind of misunderstanding what was going on in this division before that episode, like my perception that I was talking about of how I felt about these teams. And the Jets, to me, it's while they have as many unknowns as they do, compared to the Patriots, I feel like there's a stronger likelihood that those unknowns turn positive more than the unknowns that New England have. Like we were talking all about, all about the change with the coaching staff, the coaching staff with Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engstrom, like coming over from Detroit, and the whole culture thing, like that stuff matters. And then we kind of kept funneling it into the identity stuff. And I really do believe that this is a team, offensively speaking, that can live off of just having Garrett Wilson as their number one target. Mm-hmm. And they'll just pound the rock week in and week out, and kind of with the whole defense identity thing of just keeping teams down deep in the mud and winning those low scoring games. And it might not be a high ceiling season, but I feel like their floor compared to New England is way higher to me.
Because they like you know what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball down your face. They have a three-headed monster that's honestly gotten pretty underrated. I think the hate around Breece Hall is very fantasy football focused, but like he's been running behind a bad line with like some of the worst play calling in the NFL with Nathaniel Hackett the last few years. Like I want to see what he can do in an offense that knows what it's doing. And from drafting right tackle Armand Membu, who's a beast of a run blocker, they're bringing back guys like John Simpson, who's probably their worst lineman on paper, but he's still a good lineman. Like every lineman they have has a high floor, but also a pretty high ceiling. So I'm excited about that. A talented tight end in Mason Taylor, where if he becomes half of anything, if he even can kind of get to that like Dalton Schultz level of tight end, that's a W. Second round pick, he'll be pretty good. And I really like their play caller, Tanner Ekstrom, like coming from Detroit, really, really good at developing a passing offense there and helping Ben Johnson along the way.
And that's what Justin Fields really needs too. Is he needs structured support in the air. And if they do really lean into centering this offense around his skill set, which is something that Chicago really failed him in, and I think even Pittsburgh to some extent, like that offense, we talked about it. It was so different for what we saw with Justin Fields and then what we saw with Russell Wilson. Like it wasn't built for him. This is the first time Fields is going to have an offense built for him in a proper manner. And I'm not a Fields believer by any means. Like I actually am the opposite, but it at least brings me some comfort to know that with the front five having such a high floor, again, with that whole idea of high floor with Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, like there's a vision here. And this is the kind of
Isaiah Davis.
Oh my God. You
can't say only two of them.
Well, come on. You know deep down this backfield is going to be a two-headed monster. You know Davis is gonna stop.
He took over Braylon Allen.
Didn't Braylon
took over the reps?
I think he got hurt.
They were playing at the same time. They were just starting to really split carries. Like when Breece wasn't playing, they split them both even.
I do remember that.
Who was the more efficient one? By like 2 yards a carry.
Yeah, but wasn't Davis used in different
right up the middle
play situations? Yeah, but wasn't it like maybe like a third and like 15 or something, and Davis gets like the 8-yard carry for you're telling me he was taking like
Braylon Allen was like one of the least efficient running backs in the league last year.
Yeah.
Isaiah Davis wasn't.
Last year was Braylon Allen's rookie season, right?
Yeah, they drafted both of them in the same draft. It was kind of weird because I wanted the Bengals to get Isaiah Davis so bad, and then the Jets just took two, and I was so pissed.
Well, why did you want the Bengals to get him? Did you not like Chase Brown?
I did, but that was before they were even really playing Chase Brown, and Isaiah Davis is like 220. They're kind of different there.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he's good, and he'll take over the backfield soon. But in the meantime, I'm still a relative Breece believer in the fact that they've just been using him wrong this entire time. His rookie year, they did use him correctly, I do believe, and that was actually with a competent play caller in the floor that got scapegoated, kicked out of New York. Then they bring in Nathaniel Hackett, and he had no idea what to do. So I do believe that we could see good Breece Hall again.
I hope so, because he's very fun to watch. My going back to the whole biggest concern thing, my biggest concern on this offense is Justin Fields. I mean, it's going to really just live and die on how he responds in the third and obvious passing down situations, how he's able to navigate the pressure. Hopefully he's not just hitting the top of his drop and running like he usually does. Like that's his thing. And it worked for like the last 7 weeks of his tenure in Chicago, but it's just not going to be it's not going to be good if that's what this
No.
offense turns into. And the second that Justin Fields shows those old tendencies again, defenses are going to really just stack the box, stop the run, make him pass, and this offense will collapse. So it really is going to be all on Justin Fields and how Tanner Engstrom has kind of helped him get to a serviceable state. It's almost like the Eagles to some extent. It's like if you're able to shut down Saquon on the ground, and the only way you're going to beat the Eagles is if Jalen Hurts can't hit those 3rd and 8, timing throws against the blitz or things like that. Kind of what the Jets are going to be like this year. Just stop the run and make Justin Fields throw a ball on time into traffic, and I don't know. That's the biggest concern by a mile to me.
Yeah, and I do think there's a common misconception with Fields that he's like a bad thrower. He's generally a really good thrower of the football. He's generally pretty accurate, has a really strong arm. And he's actually honestly a pretty decent decision maker. Like he doesn't turn the ball over a ton. It's just the speed at which he sees the game.
Yeah.
Like when he has to get into like an actual like pure drop back like situation, he just is so delayed to see the open guy. But I think when you are able to manufacture a rushing offense, like I think this team can, and when you can incorporate play action and you can incorporate like actual purposeful bootlegs, you can get your tight ends involved. You have the best receiver of his career, Garrett Wilson. Like everything screams improvement, and he's looked phenomenal in practice. I mean, I know I don't want to be the guy that preaches about how good someone was in spring ball and in practice, but he has looked really clean against a pretty good defense. So I am a Justin Fields believer for this season.
Yeah, I can get behind it. I'm a lot closer to, like I said, a lot closer to being.
Jesus.
Bless you.
Bless. Yeah, thank you.
I'm a lot closer to feeling positive about this offense than I am New England's, and that might be tough to believe purely because this offense really has a question mark at quarterback, and then Brees and Garrett, and that's really it. But it comes down to the offensive line. That's the difference between New England and the Jets here.
It's. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to flip the script to the defense. So this is where Aaron Glenn is going to, bring his prowess in and hopefully get it back up to New York Jets standard, because that's how they've, scratched and clawed over the last 2 seasons is their defense. And after Saleh got let go and then Ulbrich took over, the standard at which we were used to seeing them play at was just completely shattered. They were a shell of their former selves despite the talent. And I think this year they definitely, I'm going to say they definitely will get back to that. I'm pretty confident that we will see not just an improved unit, but one that was as good as the one that was keeping Zach Wilson in football games a couple of years ago. So I'm excited. The only thing with this defense, as we talked about last week, is potentially the depth up front. And outside of Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, like, do we have a pass rusher that's going to really be a game wrecker? No. Is Quinnen Williams going to kind of get back to that? Was it his second season where he really broke out? It's going to be a lot on his shoulders, I think, too, despite an 11-sack season from McDonald. So that's my biggest concern on defense.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe there is a huge floor when you bring in someone stable like Steve Wilks to be their defensive coordinator. And that was kind of my concern with New England too. Like they brought in like Terrell Williams, first time defensive coordinator.
Yes.
Like a ton of unknowns with that they are going to be scrambling for. But Steve Wilks is a vet. He has been the coordinator of teams that have made Super Bowls, the 49ers, and they had a fantastic defense at that time. And he himself was kind of scapegoated. So there's a lot of security in that. You have the personnel to do well. They have a good safety room. They have a good corner room. They have my personal favorite linebacker room to watch. Like they're incredibly athletic, incredibly explosive. And I do believe there is a pass rush floor when you have Quinnen Williams, when you have Will McDonald. And they do have some guys like Leonard Taylor from Miami, like Tyler Barron from Miami, that have a little bit of untapped potential. So I don't know. I am a little bit worried about that part for sure, but I think that they have the guys behind them and the play caller to kind of get that going. Whereas with New England, my main concerns were like they have a new defensive coordinator and that has never defensive coordinated before. And they have even more unknowns, which is why I'm a little bit more stable about New York. And they brought in a good kicker for the first time in a while. So that will, like, a good kicker will add 1 to 2 wins to your record. Or
yeah.
a bad one will take away 2 wins. Like, it's like a legitimate thing.
Yeah, and keep you out of the playoffs, as you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
As you know, all too well.
We had 2 kickers that were both bottom 3 in field goal percentage this year.
That's really bad. That is pretty damn bad.
It is really bad.
At least Evan has he had his first year and then he fell off.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think a lot of it was the long snapper too, which is why we're probably replacing him.
oh yeah, is that a thing? Like, was there like long snapper beef in Cincinnati?
Well, he was new. Like the second he came in, Evan McPherson just got worse. So everyone's just like, okay, what's the math here? Probably that guy. And then Cade York comes in, is also ass, and they're like, okay, definitely his fault.
I wonder how it could be a long snapper's fault. Like,
I think it's just like makes it way harder on the holder. Like if you're fielding high snaps, like that was a problem against the Ravens, I'm pretty sure, because we missed a field goal against them to win the game, and there was like a funky snap. Ryan Rico struggled to get it back, and it was a bad hold. It was just funky.
Interesting. I might have
Nick Folk's one of the better kickers in the game the last few years, so automatic.
And that's exactly what this team needs, is a kicker that will get them points when they get down the field. Like, they will win games. They will win games in Steeler fashion. Like, Nick Folk hits 4 or 5 from like an average of 36 yards out, and that will win them a game or two this year, 100%. And that's how the Steelers survive. And I would feel a lot better about an 8-9 win season from the Jets in that fashion than I would to see it from the Steelers again. Which to me is, the big thing with Pittsburgh. We don't have to fucking talk about Pittsburgh. I feel like
if Pittsburgh I don't have constantly. to, if we're talking about the AFC East, I don't want to talk about the damn Steelers.
Like, I feel like I'm always talking about the Steelers somehow. It always
happens because they're just the worst.
well, with that said, I do think the Jets are. I found the win total for them at 6.5. Was that the one you had?
I found 5.5.
5.5, really?
Yeah, that's why I put over in all caps on my notes, because like they had 5 last year, and they were horrible. They had no identity, like they had no anything.
No,
they were just going out there and hoping Rodgers could carry them at age like 50. So now they have a QB that can move.
I was just gonna say that season went downhill when he threw that pick to Beanie Bishop in that like week 5 game against the Steelers. They were going to win that game.
We're talking about the Steelers again. They always come back around.
Well, I just remember vividly remembering that play. And was it? I think it was either a deflection off of Garrett Wilson's chest. Didn't he drill it to Garrett's chest?
I don't remember where the ball went, but I remember the ball squirted straight up in the air, landed directly in Beanie Bishop's lap, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, is he an All-Pro?
Yes,
is Beanie Bishop defensive rookie of the year? He's getting my vote." He had like 2 more picks, and everyone he started getting votes
on that game. I think.
Yeah. And, that was the worst day of my life. The Beanie Bishop game.
The Beanie Bishop breakout is haunted.
They also ruined Cam Newton too.
They did. They ruined
by just shredding his shoulder, but that was different.
That was TJ.
And they ruined Nick Chubb.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they just kill people and they suck.
They were just ruining people, and then they cheer about
it. Pretty much. Well, fuck the Steelers. I gotta stop. Yeah. We gotta. The next time a Steelers thought comes into your mind, just stop the sentence, erase it, and start over because we gotta stop.
Well, Jets 5.5. I'm smashing the over 6 because I do think they are like a 6 to 7-ish win team. To be realistic, as much as I love them, they're just still a bad passing offense. So I'm gonna say around 6 to 7. If it's 6.5, I'll take the over because I'm just excited about it. It gives me something to root for. But 6 to 7 sounds good for me.
Yeah, I am definitely going over, I think, for the Jets a lot more comfortably than I would for even 7.5 for New England. So I think ceiling wise, they're a 9-win team, and I still think they could get to 8, and it would be an 8-win season. But they're like, man, we let like 1 or 2 get away from us. I think there is that type of potential with the Jets.
Yeah.
And I keep comparing them to New England because we're doing an AFC East preview, but a lot more than the Patriots. I feel like they can hit that 8 to 9 win window.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they got the most upside out of any team that's not named the Buffalo Bills in this division. So.
Yeah, Mr. Upside. I love it.
Well, the Miami Dolphins then, of course, would have to be the next conversation
They would,
starter.
unless you think they're winning the division, but
I do not.
This is not like 3 years ago. That is not a possibility anymore. I do think that's kind of what I wanted to get into is like, I do think there is crazy potential always with this team. Like the offense is one of the most dynamic things in the world when it's well oiled, when it's working. When you have Devon Achane, Tyreek, Waddle, whatever Waller is at this point. And I do think that they did a good job at getting other weapons like Nick Westbrook-Akine, like getting more running backs. They bolstered the interior offensive line, but then their quarterback dies in week 8 and then they're screwed again. Like it's just, you can't rely on anything with this offense because it all runs through the same quarterback.
Yep, literally. And that's been the story of their lives for the last couple of years now. It's just if Tua's out there, they have a chance to win a football game. If he's not, you can kiss the season goodbye. And even like if he misses just a small stretch of games, they're a team that can't have weeks off. Like they can't have like 3 or 4 weeks without Tua and lose, and they will lose them all. And that's your season. Like they can't have that because they're not going to win all of the games he's back for. Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that just kills him. And that can even be said on the defensive side of the ball too. They're a team that struggles with injuries to star players on defense. So that's, I think, been an underlying narrative with the Dolphins is they just really have been bit by the injury bug badly. And maybe not to a lot of people, but to important people.
Yeah.
And that's been killer to them. Killer.
And it's like, I think the main development for them is like the whole Tyreek Hill thing as well. And when you have a healthy Tua, when you have Waddle, Achane, and Tyreek, that will win you games by itself. Like if Tyreek is playing how he played in 2022, 2023, back-to-back 1,700-yard seasons, like he was one of the best players in football in the world. And last year, I know they had Tyler Huntley, but he didn't even really look quite the same. And mentally, he has kind of done that thing that we've talked about that receivers do when they get old. They go crazy, and he's just kind of gone crazy. So I don't know. I can't personally say that I think he comes back to like a 16, 15, and 400-yard player, but I still do think you have 2 1,000-yard receivers on this team if they're both healthy. And that does give you a floor as an offense, especially when you have Achane too, and a really, really solid interior offensive line.
Definitely. I mean, it just concerns me like the direction that this offense is going. It was very, I know they've caught a lot of flack for how they used to operate. It was very flashy. They relied on their speed, but then it also, they started to get labeled as soft. And when it, push came to shove, they were not able to shine. Like, I still think while those things were true, that type of scheme, that direction was where they will be at their best. That's when their ceiling can truly be heightened. And now, as we saw last year, the direction they went toward was they wanted to run the ball. They wanted to get the ball out of Tua's hands before he even held the damn thing. And it just really limits what this machine can do. Maybe Mike McDaniel just thinks that it's been busted. The machine is solved. Like, it just is a little odd to me that they just are kind of abandoning it. It's like I envision walking into the middle of the forest and finding this huge infrastructure of a building that looked like it just produced maniacs for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden it's just abandoned and they just left it behind. Why? You could have done something with it.
They abandoned the X-Man cave that they grew Wolverine in.
Right.
The one with the waterfall. Yeah, like it's like I don't know. I feel the same way, and I do think that they've taken it to heart. I think that they've felt like the soft allegations, and that's why you bring in Jonas Avenaya, and that's why you bring in James Daniels, two just big beefy 330 guards that are gonna just try and run you over all game. I really like Aaron Brewer as a center. He's one of my favorites in the entire league. It's just this isn't even why I'm low on them. I genuinely think they have a good offense still.
Mm.
If it's big if they can stay healthy and not go mentally insane, because Tua's getting there too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tua's getting that wide receiver kind of mindset to him here recently, and like apparently him and Tyreek are still like they still have beef, kind
Yeah,
of.
it's like boyfriend girlfriend beef.
Yeah, it's like situationship beef.
Yeah, it really is. Like Tua's like, yeah, we had a conversation and Tyreek apologized for those comments, so we're rebuilding our relationship. I'm like, okay.
It's like his work girlfriend. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. But like,
did you see what Tyreek said about Achane the other day?
yeah, he said like, yeah, Tyreek Hill like on the podium said that like it was a bad thing that they were running Devon Achane on short downs, and they were like, he's tiny. Like, why are we running this guy? As I mean, like, what was their option? Jalen Wright? He's not a power back. He said Jalen Wright was a power back. He's not.
Like what?
Like Ollie Gordon is that they just brought in, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, why are you shitting on your like possibly like second best offensive player, possibly first this year? Like that's such a dumb thing to do.
It was hilarious too. It's like I wonder. I think the question was, how can the Dolphins? How can you guys improve in converting in short yardage? He goes, take Devon off the field, and everyone literally. I think everyone must have just sat there blank because he goes, "What? He's not a power back." I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And he's just like, you got to take Devon off the field. I tell him that all the time. He's not a power back. I'm like, all right. Like, okay, Tyreek.
Yeah, but like you also could have said we just brought in two run blocking mower guards, and that's gonna really help us. That's gonna really help us get push as opposed to having Liam Eichenberg on the football field. But instead, he was like, yeah, like last year their guards were Liam Eichenberg and Rob Jones. Like, that was bad.
That sounds like a Madden generated random player you draft in the 15th.
Rob Jones looks like a Madden generated player. He's just bald and shiny. But like, and they still have the same tackles that were shitty, like Patrick Paul, and I think they had Kendall Lamb out there for a while. Like it was weird. It was really weird. So yes, the offensive line improved as well. And I like 4/5 of the defense. It's just that 1/5 is the worst position of any position I have ever seen in football. And I think that alone will lose them 3 to 4 games by itself. The corner room.
They're going to get shredded. Like if Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Seiler, like Chop, like if this unit, as much potential as it has, they are going to be the life support of the entire team.
Yes.
Like
the pass rush is awesome.
If that pass rush isn't a top 5 unit this year, that defense could finish bottom 20 or outside the top 20 just because of how bad they will get shredded through the air. So it's really going to come down to on that side of the ball how often they can disrupt opposing quarterbacks and how quick. I mean, it's just about how quick, because if those guys have to cover for any more than like 2.4 seconds per play, they're going to give up 450 yards a game through the air. So
yeah, like I was breaking down each position. I was like, edge rushers, Jalen Phillips, like Bradley Chubb, Chop. This is great. D tackles, we got Seiler and Kenneth Grant. That's awesome. Linebackers, Jordan Brooks and Tyrell Dodson's one of the best duos in the league. They brought in Minka. That's awesome. Corner, oh God, Storm Duck and Jack Jones. Like I like that they brought in Mike Hilton to take the slot. He'll be good there. He'll help their run defense, but like he's not even like I think he made the Bengals pass defense worse.
Yeah.
Like there was a running joke like they should never have let him guard past 5 yards. Anything past that and it was a completion allowed. Because he's just so slow and small. Like he's old. He's in his 30s and he's old and he's never been fast. He ran like a 4.6 40. And then they have Jack Jones, who oh my, like he gets pick sixes sometimes on screens, but he also gives up more double moves than I've ever seen of any corner. And then it's just storm duck. Like Jesus Christ. Like I'm not even going to say anything about that because it's storm duck, and I don't have to say anything about that. But Mike Hilton cannot be your team's best corner. Your corner room will not be good at this point in his career. And I am the biggest Mike Hilton fan in the world.
Well, going back to that injury bug, like they've already been struck. Kader Kohu was maybe the best chance of being their number one boundary guy.
He
And
is
he went down,
talented.
and now he's gone.
Yeah.
So without Kader, like obviously when they traded Ramsey, they were already like, all right, we're making a very big commitment to the guys we have here, but we're going to do it anyway. And then their next man up goes down too, and now they're fucked. So it's already starting with this team. And that's kind of the whole foundation of the reservations we have. It just comes down to if they can stay healthy. I don't know what black magic they've gotten into that's really screwed them, but it doesn't seem like it's going away. So
everything in Miami is bad. Just don't go to Miami. Just don't do it.
The other thing about their defensive backs too is like Jack Jones is probably the most talented, but he's probably as unstable as Tyreek is. So it's like any given week, like it could be a random like Wednesday at like 4:25, and then we'll get an alert on our phones. Oh, Jack Jones gets arrested for having an assault rifle in his trunk. It's like, okay, what the fuck? And now there goes their next best corner. And same thing for Tyreek. He can be ripping off his shoulder pads and running off AB style in week 11 if he's not getting the football. Like these kinds of things are realistic. And the culture issues this team has had and the allegations that they've had put against them, like I don't trust if Antonio Pierce and company in Vegas couldn't get Jack Jones' head on straight because didn't Pierce like coach Jones before or something? Like they had some sort of external connection. If they couldn't figure that out, no fucking way Mike McDaniel is figuring it out in this group.
Not him.
No. So
no.
Like Jack Jones is going to see him with his fucking joggers and, you know, his short ass with his joggers and glasses. You can't fucking tell me what to do. And then he's going to quit. So it's like.
I am an Anthony Weaver believer, the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins. I like him. I like everything else they got going. Like I do believe at their core, this is a good football team in almost every way. But that one position on the defense has like the biggest hole ever. And I think it's going to cost them a lot of wins. Like if this team is healthy, they could get 9-10 wins. If they're healthy and their corners aren't awful. But the corners are awful, which I think. What line did you find? I got 7.5.
I had 7.5 as well. Oh, that's a tough tightrope.
And I think I optimistically would take the over, considering everyone's healthy. I'm not going to predict injuries, but all of their best players, both edge rushers, Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb, both injured every year. Tua injured every year. Waddle's been banged up the last 2 years. Devon Achane's tiny, and he was banged up a little bit last year. Kind of worried about it this year. This team is like the worst looking injury team possible. So if I'm gonna like be smart about it, I feel like I got to take the under.
Yeah, I think I gotta agree. It's just trends exist. Like trends are not fake. It's just
no.
And whether there's rhyme or reason to it, a trend is a trend, and there are too many important players that if they go down, the ship will sink. And they're all players that have very brutal history. I mean, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Achane, Tua, like you named them all. There is just you miss one of those keys to this whole machine, and you know there's going to be some faltering going on. You know the Dolphins have tried to solve their wide receiver 3 issue for the last couple of years. Maybe finally Akini Westbrook will be that answer. But
I think they did finally, but then they lost their tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Jonnu Smith was the best tight end thing they had going in years, and then they're like, "It's cool. We'll drag Darren Waller's old ass out of retirement." Like Noah Fant would have been the best possible Jonnu Smith replacement ever. And then
I couldn't believe they didn't get him.
He went on a visit and he chose the Bengals instead.
Wow. I would have done. I would have overpaid. I think if I'm Miami, to get Noah Fant.
Like, I don't think the Bengals paid him like anything.
No, they didn't.
And like Miami pulled Waller out of retirement, offered a draft pick for him. Like that's dumb.
That's senile.
Yeah. Like, there's a chance he's awesome. Like, he was used terribly in New York, but he hasn't played football in a year. And when a football player takes a year off and mentally gets weird, Deshaun Watson happens.
Yep.
Not to compare the two, but
no, you're right.
these things happen. Like you're not the same player, generally speaking.
When you're a full-time rapper and part-time football player, there's no way it works out. So I have no.
He'll make some plays.
There's optimism. There's so much more optimism for Waller than there should be. It's like kind of grossing me out.
To me, it's like the optimism is like, yes, I still think he is better than some options that were available. Like, yeah, he probably would be a better option than 32-year-old Gerald Everett at this point. Sure. But and he's better than what they have. It's better than Pharaoh Brown. And I do think he's gonna make a couple really, really big plays throughout the year. Because he is like a 6'6" athletic freak. It's just is that what we're relying on now? To take over the Jonnu Smith role? Noah Fant would have been perfect. They're dumb.
I know they are fucking stupid.
He would have been so perfect for that.
They don't even have to do anything in terms of recruiting other than give them. All they had to do was slide him a slightly bigger check than maybe they were comfortable with, and he would have agreed because it's Miami. They all those fucking guys want to play in Miami.
Yeah, it's hey Noah, we're Miami. It's always warm. You've heard about our women.
The taxes.
Yeah. You've heard about the women in Miami. It's always warm. The houses are nice. Go to Cincinnati. We got great chili. That's the. I think Joe Burrow was the pitch. They're do you want that short little lefty that's always hurt when he has CTE? Do you want that kid, or do you want Joe Burrow in his prime? I think he's yeah, I'll take Burrow.
Yeah, I guess I don't blame him.
That's literally what he said. Now he has to live. We got 4 seasons in Cincinnati. We get all 4 seasons, and we got good chili. And the sky is usually gray, but not always.
I relate. Yeah, I relate to that. Yeah. But some guys value different things. Some guys are, just looking to have a good time out there. They want to play football during the football season, but they'll enjoy their time when it's not football season. No offense, maybe he just wants to win. He's just a winner. I respect that.
I think he played in. He hasn't played on an overly successful team yet.
Yeah,
Seattle getting 9 wins a year was his peak. So
yeah,
this will be it.
Well, yeah, I do agree. I think I'm going to go under on the 7.5 for Miami. But that leaves one team, and I think everyone and their mother will have this team winning the AFC East unless you're trying to be desperately different. The Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
they're running it back. It's basically the same identity, the same framework, the same team. There's really not much to indulge in here. But I want to ask you, if there was one big concern for the team overall that would maybe prevent them from hitting their over on 11.5 wins, what do you think it would be?
Obviously a Josh Allen injury, is really the main thing. But I think the same thing. I think that they've taken the same route that the Chiefs have done, where it's we're going to abandon weapons. We're going to build an offensive line. We're going to build a defense. We're going to make it a more stable environment, but we're not going to elevate you enough. Getting Keon Coleman, getting Elijah Moore, getting Josh Palmer. These still don't elevate Josh Allen as a whole. And while I don't necessarily think it'll hurt their record, I think in terms of advancing in the playoffs, asking Josh Allen to just go ball for 4 quarters for 4 straight games is a really big ask, as opposed to having someone like a Worthy even or a Rashee Rice that you can consistently rely on. I just don't think the Shakir is the best weapon on a Super Bowl team, and I really wish that they would have done a little bit more to improve that.
I'm glad you framed it that way because I've always felt and I've never found a good way to put it into words, but the Bills are always trying to copy the Chiefs blueprint, but they're always a year behind. They're always doing what worked for the Chiefs before, and then by the time the Bills are catching up to what worked for them a year ago, the Chiefs are doing something different the next year. And then it's okay, well, now do we do that? And that's exactly what happened when the Chiefs won, when Mahomes was a monster earlier in his career. The Bills were heavy 11 personnel. They were going and getting their weapons, and they were passing the ball a lot, and it was fun. It was energetic, and they were threatening. But then the Chiefs, they traded away Tyreek. They started running the ball with Pacheco a lot, and started leaning more into the yards after catch stuff. And that won them a Super Bowl. And then Buffalo's like, wait, fuck this 11 personnel stuff. We're going to do the same thing. And they tried
Kelsey.
Yeah. And it didn't work. And now here we are again. They're going to try that again, which is fine, I guess. But the Chiefs are now starting, in my opinion, I think, to transition out of that again. They're going, I think, back to the high flying stuff to try to be more threatening downfield. They brought more weapons in. Like, they're just kind of advancing themselves, which is something that I feel like the Bills, they're just trailing behind. It just feels like they're trailing.
I just don't think they have the balls. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that they have the balls to try something new. I think they're just like, we just have to beat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only like super threat. Like, I mean, obviously the Ravens, but they're their own team. Like, you can't replicate that.
Yeah.
And like the Chiefs are so similar as a team to the Bills. It's just the blueprint that Andy Reid has. Andy Reid has balls. Like, he's willing to try new things all the time. And I just don't think the Bills are. I think that they just want Josh Allen to do for Buffalo what Mahomes has done for Kansas City. But I think Kansas City's just been a step ahead the whole time. So that was a good way on your part to put it. They're just a step behind. Mm-hmm. And I don't have any concerns about the roster to get the over. 11.5 wins, was it?
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about that at all. They're going to get 12 at least, I think. But it's just like, to advance at this point, who gives a shit about the record? Yeah. It's Super Bowl time. You have Josh Allen in his prime right now. It's like, this is the time. And you have a good roster. You have a roster able to do it. The defense, the offense, it's just, you got to score points. And I feel like if it's not going to be James Cook, we got to bring in some dudes.
Yeah. I think
a trade can maybe be cool, but I don't know.
Well, we tried that last year at the deadline. They're like, oh, fuck. Well, Keon can't get open, and we'll trade for old Amari Cooper, who's clearly declining, and he's hurt also. We got him cheap. Wait.
Yeah.
Did we? I think it was a third, actually.
Holy shit. Was he actually a third?
What was that?
I feel like the Bills had so many picks this year. I didn't notice.
I feel like anytime a midseason trade happens, they're always overpaying. So I think it had to be.
Yeah, the Bengals traded like a 6th for Khalil Herbert, and he didn't play.
Yeah, literally.
Or 7th. I think they traded a 7th, but still, like
any capital for Khalil Herbert is crazy.
He played one game because Zach Moss got hurt. They were like panicking.
Bills Amari Cooper trade.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many like.
Just
call the. Oh my God! Just call the Packers. Get any of those dudes.
I know.
Like, get Romeo Doubs. Get Dontavian Wicks. Get Christian Watson. Like, get Jaden Reed. They're all probably the same price.
Mm-hmm.
Just like offer, a early day 3 pick for somebody, and it'll be okay. Like, Romeo Doubs would do wonders for this team.
Oh yeah, I would love Romeo Doubs on this.
It would be incredible, and he's barely gonna play.
I know.
Like Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Tucker Kraft, Christian Watson, like they don't need him. Hell, yeah, get rid of him.
I think people forgot Romeo Doubs exists.
Yeah,
like, he's become the odd man out over there. Everyone's so excited about Golden, and Wicks has caught a lot of popularity lately, and Christian Watson's going to hopefully be healthy at some point. But then there's Doubs, and he just doesn't say anything, and he's just kind of there. But he
went to Nevada. He got Carson Strong drafted. That was about it, though.
That's crazy.
No, poor Carson Strong. But yeah, I mean, the Bills, I think they did a good job uploading their defensive front, though. Mm. They brought in TJ Sanders, whatever the hell's happening with their defensive end group. I don't know if Michael Hoyt's going to be able to play at any point soon. Larry Ogunjobi has his whole weird thing. Joey Bosa with his injury. A lot of weird stuff going. And Joey Bosa looks even more weird than ever.
Yeah.
He looks like a World of T-shirts, but like buff, like with this new buzz cut. Okay.
That's crazy disrespectful. That is crazy.
To which one?
I mean, considering World of T-shirts, is that kid is. I'll say my thoughts. He might be. He could be dead at some point. Like that kid is always doing something very dangerous and drinking a lot.
Like you just look at the picture of Joey Bosa with a buzz cut, and then look at the picture of World of T-shirts. It's the same thing.
Well, hopefully. Well, I guess one thing that World of T-shirts and Joey Bosa will probably have in common this season is that at one point or another, neither of them will be playing football. Like he's
Yes,
guaranteed
that
to
is
miss
true.
time, and he already has missed some time. I think he's healthy now, but that was kind of my big concern when looking at Buffalo. Like if I'm going to be pessimistic, my outlook is the defense more than anything declining. And I think there's always a high floor with this unit. It will always be good. And I think it will always do enough to win us football games. Honestly, I'm in the minority when I say that. But now the revamping of this defensive front is inspiring, but the guys that we brought in to kind of do that concern me for multiple reasons. Joey Bosa being the headliner I've talked about before, I think is going to be something that backfires, unfortunately. And it's like the safety room, I think we're going to be running back Rapp and Hamlin because Bishop is still on and off the field in camp. Like this guy can't stay healthy. And I think the goal is that we're going to bank on Bishop to kind of be this athletic guy to play that free safety role next to Rapp. But if he's not on the field, it's going to be Rapp and Hamlin again. And I do have concerns about that. So it worries me about what the ceiling could look like with the defense. It just doesn't have the stars. They just don't.
I agree with that. I think that they're taking the Chiefs kind of approach too, where it's like the Chiefs, aside from Trent McDuffie and Chris Jones, like they're finding a lot of success with like the Leo Chenals, the Nick Boltons. They're running a new safety in there every year that always finds success. A bunch of random corners, like Karlaftis is pretty comparable to Rousseau. Like I think that they literally are trying to copy them at this point.
In every way. They've been trying to copy the Chiefs for the last 4 years. I'm telling you, I've been saying this for years.
The more you say it, the more I think about it. Like that is true. Like their personnel defensively, like their personnel offensively, like it looks the exact same. And it's kind of creepy, actually, now that I think about it.
And the only difference that is really, I think, the crux of it is the head coaches. I think the whole idea, do you remember that small period of time where everyone was like, you can't hire a defensive coach. Like you need to have an offensive, offensive-minded head coach so they don't end up leaving. It's like, I think that the Sean McDermott versus Andy Reid thing, that's where that all kind of came from because Josh was dealing with the transition from Dable and then, came in Ken Dorsey and then Joe Brady. It's like the constant rotating of offensive coordinators concern people in Buffalo because when you have a defensive head coach and you get it, I lost my train of thought, but you get it. I think that's where that all came from though, basically. Yeah. So I don't know. That's what the difference is between Buffalo and Kansas City, I think, at this point, is they just don't have the offensive mind that Reid is.
And it's just the moments, too.
Yeah.
It just feels like KC has had the best of them on just tiny moments. Yeah. So it's hard for me to, sit here and look at a roster and project an entire season's worth when, they're losing on individual tiny moments every single year. And I won't mention how many seconds it was. I won't mention what Kincaid should have done. It's just there's so many small little things that have kept them from reaching the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they're any farther than it this year. I don't think Josh is getting worse. I don't think James Cook's getting worse. I don't think that Deion Dawkins, I think he'll probably be the same. Everybody looks about the same. So I think that they'll run it back with a similar record, a similar play style. And I think that if they can just get one more moment on KC, on the Ravens, whoever they're playing, I think they're good enough to make it there, especially when you have a quarterback who has potential to be the best quarterback in the league.
I hope so. I do have, over the past couple of years, I do this thing where I just bet the Bills to win the Super Bowl because why not? We have Josh Allen and it's very possible. Right. I'm kind of debating, I mean, I'll do it just for the fuck of it, but it's just, I don't know. I hate to say it. It just feels like something is bound to go wrong this year because we have been fortunate in a lot of ways that other teams haven't, like the offensive line working out as well as it has and not having any injuries there or really any injuries anywhere, at least this past year, if I remember correctly. We have been very fortunate injury luck-wise.
James Cook, I get his handcuff every year in fantasy, and it's like the worst pick ever because he
Yeah.
stays on the field. Josh Allen doesn't miss time. Shakir, I mean, a slight ankle problem last year, but nothing insane. Like a lot of these guys have been healthy,
Mhm.
but like I do think if they can unlock Kincaid, if they can turn Kincaid into a Hawkinson, like into a guy that is
Yeah.
getting 80 catches, 90 catches a year, he doesn't even have to be insane. Just be flirting with 1,000 yards from the tight end spot.
Yeah.
If they can unlock a little bit more on Keon Coleman, like I feel like people are putting Keon Coleman in a box. He was always a developmental guy, and I still think there is a pretty high ceiling for him. So I have faith that he can develop. I have faith that Kincaid can be healthy again this year and develop. I think they'll be a better overall team. They didn't lose enough.
Mhm. I agree. I think they'll still be in contention, of course, and I think I'm being a little bit cynical, frankly, because I just
Sport,
wasn't the
yeah.
biggest fan of things that they've done recently, honestly. So I'm probably being a little bit more cynical than I have to be. But long story short, this is the first year where I am more concerned about the defense than I am the offense. Because bottom line, you have Josh Allen. I trust Joe
Yeah.
Brady. I think what they did worked, and I'm completely cool with them running it back. Sure, I think more weapons would have been nice or a better one somewhere. But the defense and the transition up front that they're really, really counting on, it concerns me. The secondary
Mhm.
outside of Benford kind of concerns me. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
And I think that one thing people have kind of it's always been just beat the Chiefs. That's what it's always been. It's just beat the Chiefs. But I am as a fan in the AFC, I am so terrified of the Ravens this year.
yeah.
And I think for how well-rounded they've become, how dynamic they've become, like I think that teams have gotten a little bit too conservative
Hmm.
and they haven't taken enough risks. So I think running it back with people like Rapp, running like if DeMar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp is your two guys that you are hoping to stop Derrick Henry and Lamar, like I do have my concerns with that for KC and for Buffalo to try and stop Baltimore this year.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another good point too. It's like Buffalo has been trying to chase and beat KC in these big games, but what happens when it's not KC we have to beat anymore? Like what
I
happens
mean,
the year
yeah,
what happens when we lose to the Ravens? And it's going to
yeah,
feel like I genuinely think if we were to lose like to the Ravens last year, that would have felt like a step back. Like we didn't even get to the Chiefs. Like we were
yeah.
supposed the mountain, the top of the mountain is the Chiefs for us. So it's like, okay, now we're not even getting to the Chiefs. So it's like, what the fuck? What
Yeah.
are we doing?
That's
So
how it felt when they lost to Cincinnati that
exactly.
one
The
time,
only
where it's
time that
like,
they lost to someone else, it felt like the world was collapsing. And here we are. We're
yeah,
fine. But that's just
yeah.
what it is.
And like I think that they are so focused on trying to become the Chiefs. Like, who's the one team the Bengals beat almost every time? They beat the Chiefs almost every single time. So like if you're trying to become a team that other teams beat, like that team's gonna beat you too. So like it's not like they just have to hope they don't see the Bengals. They have to hope they don't see the Ravens in good conditions if they're just trying to be this one team. It's a strange way to build a team. But it's just like when you have Josh Allen, anything's possible. And that's like the one thing is like I think I'm probably even higher on Josh than you are. Like I think he's closer to Mahomes than you say he is. So I got faith in the team. It's just stay healthy and have some balls. Make a trade. Get
Yeah.
Romeo Dobbs. Do something.
Moral of the story: the Bills are just trying to be like the Chiefs way too hard, and that's why they always lose to them. So,
That's fair. Yeah.
but yeah,
You can't beat someone that you're trying to be.
exactly. They just know what's going on. That they're just going to beat you every time. It's like the apprentice trying to beat the master too early. Then
Yeah.
it's like you're not going to happen. The apprentice always figures something out on his own to beat the master. We
Yep.
haven't. I don't think we've done that yet. To be
No.
honest, obviously, but yeah, I mean, in order, then I guess we can kind of wrap it up nicely. The order of the division to me, my final prediction will be the Bills at 1. 2, I have the Jets. I think I'm going to comfortably put the Jets at 2. 3, I'm going to go with the Dolphins. And 4, I'm going to put the Patriots in that order.
I struggle. I mean, I definitely got Bills 1. I think I'm still going to take Dolphins 2. I think because the healthy Dolphins team's by far second best to me. But then it's a Jets and Patriots toss up. I still might lean Patriots 3 because of the upside that they have to possibly reach 8, 9 games. But man, it's close. I think I'll take Patriots to be a little bit different than yours, but they're right there.
Okay, so Patriots 3, Jets 4.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. I think that's where we differ though. I feel like the Patriots to me are the bottom, and then it's the Jets and the Dolphins are the two that I was kind of jostling with. Like just because I just see so much more potential with the Jets, despite instead of the Patriots. I think I just
it's literally just quarterback play. That's like the only reason. As an actual team, I'm like the Jets, like top to bottom. I mean, not top. Aside from the top, running back down, they have made themselves a more impressive roster, in my opinion. It's just like the quarterback, the most important one. The Patriots have a chance to have like a Herbert level guy, and Fields, if he hasn't gotten any better, we know what he is. So it's just like, are the teams so far apart in terms of talent where the quarterback can't bridge it? I don't know. And I think that's why I said they're right there, because I think that there is a talent difference between May and Fields. And I think that the Jets have the better roster. So I'm just trying to figure out where that meets together.
Yeah, that's fair. Because that's a good way to put it. Like, can May make up for the difference in roster deficiency?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Because like I'm trying to figure out how much I think he's going to develop himself. I don't know.
Well,
we'll see.
We will see. For now, though, do you have any closing thoughts, any questions you want to follow up with before we wrap it up?
I do not. We got a lot more time and depth into the AFC East than I thought possible.
Me too, honestly. Like we really dug into this, and I don't know, I was not expecting it, but I'm happy we did, because I was thinking, like, we've talked about a bunch of these teams already a lot, so it's like, how much more can we do it? But we managed it because the app, we're good at that.
That is true.
But if you guys enjoyed, as always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share. Be sure you're dropping your thoughts on the AFC East, your predictions down in the comments below as well. And we will see you in episode 53.